Yo, 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 yo. What is good, family? You already know Henry Aaron Westbrooks, aka Wealthy Westbrooks, back with another video here to teach you how to elevate and thrive. We're talking about elevate your mindset, elevate your business, really just elevate your situation. I almost said elevate, but I meant to say elevate. But basically, and nothing's basic about this, that's what we do, man. I'm trying to teach you how to thrive and succeed in any endeavor that you're trying to, whether that's again with your business, your relationship, your finances, your situation outside. Bro, it doesn't matter. You want to upgrade, you want to elevate, you want to thrive, you want to accelerate. That's what I'm here to help you do, man. Okay. So I really want to break into the concept today of really unlocking the power of your mindset, G, like really shifting the focus of your mindset and how shifting your thoughts can help you manifest your desires. That's really what I want to help you with. Okay. So make sure you watch this video all the way to the end. And if you're not taking notes, then I don't know why you're here. This is not for entertainment purposes, fam. This is for educational purposes, man. So drop your comments in the notes. Let me know that you're paying attention. You know what I'm saying? And drop your notes in the comments. And yeah, I'm just hyped. That's why I'm talking crazy right now. But listen, bro, I got a good video here for you. That's why, you know what I'm saying? So put your notes in the comments. Stay tuned. And let's get straight into it. Now, listen. Everybody's confused about what the concept of manifestation is. When I say manifest, I'm not saying like you got to sit there on some genie in a bottle type shit and you're just like like all that's cool, all that's great, and yes, I believe in Neville Goddard and alpha brain waves and frequency and sound vibration. All that stuff is really good. Trust me, all that stuff works. But gee, you're not going to manifest until you really cultivate the self-image of who you want to be, because the world is a reflection of you in your inner world. Okay, so the reality is, if you can look at your bank account, you can probably determine how you feel about yourself. If you can look at your relationship status, you can probably figure out how you feel about yourself. Look at your business, look at your outer world, look at the relationship with your world as your relationship with yourself, because that's all going to kind of reflect. Okay, now when we say manifest, it's almost like you want to make it clear or obvious to the mind or to your eye, right? But bro, you've already manifested. You're already manifesting. You can't help but manifest. I've talked to you about this in my other videos. You're always manifesting. Whether you're manifesting what you want or not, that's a whole other situation, right? Because the key thing is shifting your focus, shifting your thoughts. And you're probably still focusing on the wrong things. Just like I used to be. I used to focus on the problem. I used to focus on the negative, the lack. Everything that I didn't want was my focus. And what did that happen to do? It just attracted more of the same stuff. It's like you're watching your Instagram feed or your YouTube feed, right? And it picks up on what you're watching, right? Every time you entertain one of those thoughts that you don't want, you focus on your lack, your poverty, your scarcity. You focus on the fact that you're broke, the fact that you're single, the fact that you're out of weight. Like the fact that you're focusing on what you don't want is only going to attract more of that. So simple, like when you're watching YouTube videos, right? You like it, you comment on the video, you put the notification bell on, you subscribe. It's the same thing with your thoughts. Every time you entertain those thoughts, you're just going to get more of it on your algorithm. So we have to shift your focus to what you're really trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish. All right. So when I talk about manifest, ultimately, you need to really just detach. First of all, you need to be able to detach from the outcome and just be okay with the acceptance of it or the rejection of it. Manifestation is just understanding that you're okay with it without it. That's really manifestation, because once you're there, you're no longer sending signals or conflicting signals of need or want and desire, right? There's a gap every time you say you need something or you want something. There's that gap between where you are and where you want to be. So we just accept it for what it is. And that's how you manifest. You have to already just have the abundance mindset. You have to have already cultivated the possibility that it's already done and act as if. Stop waiting for the results and stop waiting for the money and the girl and the business to boom, to be and feel successful. Be successful now, and then all that stuff will happen. All right. That's really what we're talking about in this video, man. I want to talk to you about how to manifest truly, right? And make it evident or certain that you're living your life. Because again, according to you, because again, you're always manifesting, but you just don't realize it. You subconsciously don't realize that you are exactly where you want to be, subconsciously or not. You really got to be honest with yourself. Now you're probably saying, well, Henry, what do you mean? I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be single. I don't want to be fat. I don't want to be skinny. I don't want to have a business that's failing. I don't want to be in this city. I don't want to have this whack car. But you keep on focusing on that. And the universe doesn't understand what you want, truly, what you desire truly, because you're focusing on that. So it's only going to give you more of that. So we need to focus on and solely believe that what you want is already here. Now, hang in there. Bear with me, because I know this concept is a bit tricky at the beginning. I know this concept is not really easy to grasp at first. But the more you watch these videos, the more you practice what I'm telling you, bro, I'm with you. Just start with this. What would you do? What would you do if you already had everything you wanted? The girl, or if you're a girl, the boyfriend, the job, the ultimate career path, or all the money. Let's say you had $50 million in the bank, cash. If you had $50 million liquid, tax-free, $50 million in the bank, 50 M's, or $50 million cash in a bunch of duffel bags in your living room, like, what would you do? How would you feel? If your business was already where you wanted it to be, how would you feel? What would you be doing on a day-to-day basis? Because right now you're operating out of the lack of that. You're operating from the absence of that, right? So the universe is in God, and the subconscious, you're playing yourself. Congratulations, you're playing yourself. Pause. You feel what I'm saying, though? Because you're not telling yourself the right things. You're only focusing on that which you don't want. And you're only focusing on what appears to be evident and what appears to be reality. But the reality is, your current reality is already the progress and the product of your old thoughts and your old beliefs. That's why this is what you're dealing with, because whether or not you realize it, you put yourself in the situation. Yes, there's things that are out of control. The scandemic, you know what I'm saying? And there's the COV, all of that stuff. Like, there's certain things that are obviously under control, weather, natural disasters. I get it, bro. I get it. I was forced evacuated out of Florida back when, like, I was 23, 24. I had a listing on the market. I was selling real estate in Florida. I had an active listing with a seller. I was selling the house, but we were forced evacuated out of the state because of Hurricane Irma. And at the same time, I had an opportunity to come across the country and start selling solar panels door to door. And God willing, I just took that leap. I took that leap of faith because I'm like, damn, what's the worst that could happen? I'll always come back to Florida to do real estate. Let me at least go to the West Coast. I heard it's, awesome over there. Packed in my bags and drove across the country. Bro, do you realize the level of faith that took? There was so much uncertainty, right? But I was acting as if everything was going to work out. And it did. You know what I mean? I started becoming really successful when I got to California. Truly, I would say that is kind of what launched my growth, my real personal development. I've been doing personal development since, college, and then even before that, high school, especially after college. But taking that risk, believing in myself, visualizing, being creative, practicing my, faith, and ultimately trusting in the universe and my vision for what could possibly be is what got me to where I wanted to be. That's what it was. It wasn't, oh, I hope this all works out. It was more like, yo, I know this is going to work out. I don't exactly know how, but I can see it. I can see it. I can see this working. And right now you're stuck because you don't see how you're going to get out of debt. You don't see how you're going to get the money. You don't see how you're going to get the girl. You don't see how your business is going to pop off. You don't see how you're going to get the foreign car. You don't see it. So it's hard for you to believe it. You see your bank account, you're in overdraft. You're like, bro, what is this? Hey, Henry, what are you talking about, bro? Listen, trust me. You got to understand that it's going to be okay. This is all a simulation anyways, fam. This is all a simulation. And the sooner you realize and you come to realization that this is practically a video game, you're an avatar and you're just going through the matrix. As soon as you realize that, you're going to find a true sense of peace. And that's really what you want anyways. But you're so worried, you're so stressed, you're so anxious about bills and money and problems and conflict and the politics and the outer world that you're not doing enough work within. If you just work on yourself, everything else will work out for you. You keep working harder on the business. You keep working harder on the grind. You keep doubling down and trying to do all this extra stuff and hustle, which is great. Yeah, you need to work. You can't just sit around and do nothing. But if that's all you're doing and that's what you've been doing and it's not working, then what makes you think all of a sudden it's just going to work, right? It's not. There's a self-image about you that needs to change. There's the mindset shift that needs to occur, okay? You need to understand your power, the power of your mind, okay, and how it influences your thoughts, right? Your actions and your reality. Yes, all of these things go hand in hand, okay? If you haven't already, I have a book over here. It's called Growth. It's called Mindset. This book right here. Hold on, fam. Look. This is a good book. And I got a book also. You can get my book, link in the description. New You Now, A Guide to Amazing Improvement. I already wrote a book, okay? But if you haven't already, go get this book. It's called Mindset, right? And we talk about, in this book, it talks about the psychology of success, right? How you can ultimately learn to fulfill your potential, whether you're in parenting, business, school, relationships, etc. This is a great book. The premise and the ultimate like context and concept of this book, as a quick summary, is the difference between your fixed mindset and your growth mindset. Bro, I'm talking to you right now as if I have 100,000 subscribers, 1,000,000 subscribers. Like the YouTube plaque is already on my wall, because that's the energy I need to put out there. Because in my mind, that's what it is. That's what it is right now. Because I understand the growth mindset versus the fixed mindset. Let me break this down for you real quick. A fixed mindset is something that you're ultimately confining yourself with, right? You're fixing your mindset on this. Maybe it's your talent, your financial achievements, right? For example, and it's okay to have a fixed mindset in certain departments, but ultimately what we want to do is develop a growth mindset in as many realms of reality as possible. Let me give you some examples. A fixed mindset, it's like, bro, I don't know how to play the ukulele, right? I don't know how to play the harp. You know what I'm saying? I don't know anything about, power washing or, being a doctor, like all these professions and stuff like that. Like, you're naturally born and inclined to tap into certain things, like your strengths, your natural skill sets, right? There's certain things that you've already come to the conclusion with that you're like, bro, I don't do that. Your mindset is fixed on that. Now, the reality is you're a limitless being. You can do anything you want to do. You can learn anything. I truly believe that the human being can study and become an expert in any realm, in any endeavor, in any field of expertise. Whether you're like going to thrive, that's another story, right? Because obviously we want to elevate and thrive. That's why we focus on what we kind of naturally are drawn to, right? And then the contrary, though, here is the growth mindset, right? Well, I guess you're right. I could just take lessons on learning how to play the ukulele. I could take lessons on how to play. I could go to med school, right? You can go to engineer school. Like, you can grow, bro, sis, fam. You can grow. Pause. You feel what I'm saying? You can develop new skill sets, new mental patterns. That's the power of your mindset. So when we set ourselves up for success, or when we're trying to reach certain goals, what is your mindset? What is your belief system set in? Is it fixed, or is it set to growth? If you set the thermostat in your house, maybe you have a Nest thermostat or whatever the case may be. Let's say you set it to 75 degrees, right? Boom. It's 75 degrees in the house or in the apartment, right? The AC's on. It's nice and chill. As soon as you open up the windows on a hot summer day, what's going to happen? All that heat's going to come back into the room and it's going to start to warm up. But then that thermostat's going to kick on and it's going to bring it back to 75 because you have it set to 75. Same thing for the heat, right? If you have it set to 80 and you let a cold draft in, it's going to temporarily get cold, but the heat turns on, it's back to 80. But it'll never go above that. It'll never go, it'll never tinker between, wherever you're have it set. So your bank account, your finances, what's the most money you've ever made? What's the most money you've ever seen? What's in a month, in a week, in a year? That's probably your financial thermostat, right? So the only way you break through that ceiling, the only way you're able to ultimately get more is by cultivating a growth mindset. Start telling yourself, asking yourself, like, how could I earn more than $50,000 a year? How could I make more than $100,000 a year? What would it be like? How would it feel like to earn $100,000 in a month, a day, right? Maybe you're stuck at 10K a month. What would it be like to earn 10K a day, right? As we start to come up with these concepts and we question our beliefs and our growth mindset, we start to live from outside now. We're coming from a place from the possibility, from right now you're out of body. You're actually tapping into the consciousness that you need to be operating from, right? You're no longer focusing on like reality in this aspect of like, oh, well, I can only make $10,000. If you really genuinely only believe you can only make $10,000 a month, you'll never make more than that. That's just where you're set to, right? But we need to start breaking through the paradigm, breaking through the beliefs, cultivating a growth mindset, and asking ourselves, how could it possibly become? I probably need to get better skill sets. I probably need to learn better, and communicate better and network better and have more resources and improve the quality of my videos. All that stuff is important, right? Or improve the quality of my prospecting, my advertising, my content, like whatever you do, right? Your delivery, your service. There's ways for you to scale. There's ways for you to increase revenue, get better, attract more women. You know, there's ways for you to do all that stuff, G. There's ways for that, but it's all with your growth mindset, okay? But if you just tell yourself, it is what it is, how do you possibly expect to exceed that? It's not going to happen, okay? So really understand that. Now, I want to briefly touch on the science of neuroplasticity, right? And how the brain can change and adapt based on your thoughts and beliefs. You know, neuroplasticity is ultimately how you perceive and make connections within your brain, right? Like how one idea leads to another, like your thought patterns, right? And until you change the way you think and your thought patterns, you're going to keep coming to the same conclusions, the same ideas. You're going to be stuck in the same box, right? But we need to think outside the box. If you don't think outside the box, you're a square. Hey. Oh my God. Hey, you feel what I'm saying though? So you don't want to be a square. You don't want to be just stuck in this box. And the society programs you to try to stay in a box. But you're a multi-dimensional being, fam. You're a limitless being, fam. You can tap into Christ consciousness at any time and you can really elevate. I need you to understand and believe that. So when it comes to neuroplasticity, you know, we want to figure out how do we alter that? How do we change the neuroplasticity, right? How do you exercise the neuroplasticity, right? Ultimately, rewiring your cognitive pathways is what we're looking to do, right? You want to rewire your programming, kind of like when you get an iOS update on your iPhone, right? It's outdated information. It's outdated software. You need to constantly be reprogramming and re-hardwiring and rewiring in order for like you to operate at an optimal function. Same thing for your brain, bro. Just like the iPhone, just like your laptop. You need to constantly be rewiring. That's the only way you're going to be operating at your fullest and best potential. If you're operating off of old systems, old softwares, you're going to be lagging. You're going to be slow. You're going to be frustrated, right? So how do you do that, right? You got to start, feed your brain nutrients, and get healthy amounts of sleep. I'm not saying be slumber and lazy, but get rest, because being restful is part of productivity. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Read more books, learn more words, okay? Because as you start to do that and your brain's ability is going to recognize you're doing that, you're going to start to feel better about yourself. Your confidence is going to change. And ultimately, like your structure and your function of your brain is going to be responding to stimuli differently, right? So now you're going to look at the world, you're going to see things from a different perspective because you're changing the way you see the world. You're changing your thought patterns. Okay, so really keep that in mind as you're on this journey. Like, you're not going to get new results with old information. You're not going to get a new life by being the same version of you. You need to change. You need to change who you are. The current version of you is not going to have and be and get the stuff that your desired version of you will, right? So it's not about, oh, how do I get that? How do I get this? It's who do you need to become? Who do you need to be in order for all that to manifest into your life, right? How do you need to think? How do you need to act? That's the secret, G. That's the key. Okay. And as you start to do that, you're going to start to ultimately change. You're going to start to grow, and you're going to reorganize your reality in accordance. Okay. So just keep that in mind as you're going through life. You're going to need to change your neuroplasticity and the way that you think and make connections and patterns. Okay. You have to reprogram your brain. That's what I did. I listened to Bob Proctor. You know what I'm saying? Listening to a lot of my mentors who taught me about the conscious and the subconscious mind, right? You're going to need to do that. All right. And also, you need to figure out your limiting beliefs, which kind of ties back into the fixed mindset. Like, there are certain things that you're just set on. You have so many limiting beliefs. It's due to your environment. It's due to, your childhood, your upbringing. Maybe your parents told you this, told you that, your teachers told you that, the people you're around. For whatever reason, you have self-limiting beliefs. And you need to be able to expand what's possible, right? You need to be able to see beyond what you think is actually realistic and what's possible, right? Break the limit. Go, like they set a speed limit when you're driving on the street, right? But your car can go faster than the speed limit. Why? Right? I mean, the limits are there to just keep you safe, keep you protected. And it's same thing with your brain. You're limiting yourself just because it feels comfortable, it feels safe. But what happens if you break through the limits? It might be a little uncomfortable. It might be whoa, you might have a little bit of fear, right? As you break the limits, you think outside the box. You might even fail. You might even cause some temporary damage, or you might even, it might appear that you're being reckless. People are going to be looking at you like you're crazy. Like, slow down. Whoa, why are you doing that? Whoa, chill. Even yourself, bro, you might start to freak yourself out, but that's okay because you're going to evolve through the process. Okay. Simple things can help you with your limiting beliefs. You can journal, right? You can just start writing things down. That's what I do. I literally write down, like, bro, I write down things that aren't yet. Look at this. Look at the things I write down. Can you see this? I am successful. I am God. I am love. I am motivated. I am strong. I am secure. I trust myself. I am blessed. I am letting all new things come in. I am creating a new space for all that's new. I desire. I am money. I am abundant. I am rich. I am rare. I am attracting good and love. I'm a spirit of experiencing life in human form. I write all this stuff down. God will always provide. I'm a conscious creator. I love myself. I'm elevated. Elevate and thrive. My imagination brings joy. I'm powerful. I'm in control. I'm at peace. I sign off on this stuff. I make these declarations to myself because as you start to write and you start to script, you can't help but start to feel a certain type of way. You can't help but it's the kinesthetics of it. Like you're taking all these concepts in your brain and you're putting it into the physical realm. Now here it is. Here it is. There it is, right? So now you're that much closer to your goals, G. Right? I write down my prayers. I write down my beliefs. I write down my goals in the present tense. I'm living a phenomenal life. I'm a successful coach. I earn millions of dollars. I put greatness into the world. And then all that type of stuff helps you develop confidence. It also kind of holds you accountable because now you have it written. You're reading it. You're like, oh, damn. Like, okay, cool. And you start to take action accordingly, right? Just work on being mindful as well. Like if you're drunk, if you're always high, all this different stuff, you're not going to have the clarity that you need. So you need to cut the vices as well. You need to cut the drugs, cut the alcohol, and be coming from a place of sobriety and clarity so that you can be mindful and aware of where you're at. How are you going to get to where you want to go if you don't know where you're at? I'm going to say that again. How are you going to get to where you want to go if you don't know where you're at? Like if you're on your phone and you're looking up for a GPS trying to get to somewhere, it asks you where you're starting from, right? Current location. If you don't know where you're at, you can't figure out where you're going because you need to be able to self-assess, self-analyze. So really be honest with yourself. Where are you at currently? And just look at the situation for what it is. Do some self-examining. Even in the Bible, it says, thou shalt, examine yourself daily. Examine yourself, fam. Understand where you're going wrong, what's working, what's not working, where you're sabotaging, etc. What areas of your life need healing. All this is important. In order for you to get to where you're wanting to go, you got to get real solid and clear on where you're currently at. You just have to. Okay. Now, by the way, if you're getting some value, man, drop these comments. Drop the notes in the comments. Drop some comments because I need to know that you're actually paying attention. If you're watching, this is not for entertainment. Now, yes, you can do, when it comes to shifting your mindset, yes, you can do affirmations. Yes, visualization. Yes, gratitude. Yes, all that's important. I encourage you to do it, but you got to realize that it's a process of gradual affirmations. If you just sit there, you're dumb broke, but you're sitting there saying, I am a multimillionaire, even though I have it written down, like to some degree, you're going to feel kind of silly. You're going to kind of feel foolish, right? So be able to, because it's really about the feeling, right? When I write this stuff down and I say this stuff, I really feel and believe this. You might not be there yet. So just be mindful of the affirmations and the positive affirmations that you're saying. Start more general, like I am content. I am present. I am successful, right? You don't need to be that specific. Now, obviously, the more specific you can get, the better. But just realize that. And then close your eyes and really manifest and meditate and visualize the life that you want. Visualize what it would be like, what it would feel like, what the scenery, what the conversations you'd have, what it would smell like on the sensory world. What would the steering wheel feel like of driving that McLaren or that Lamborghini or that Rolls Royce or that Ferrari? Like, what would it feel like? Right? What would it be like having that dream house, in that dream relationship, having a whole bunch of money in your bank account? Visualize it. Would you walk into the bank? Is it all digital? When you look at your phone, imagine you see that, 2 commas on your screen, 7 figures on your screen, 8 figures on 9-figure business. Like, What is that going to feel like? What is it going to look like? Picture that. Picture yourself. What kind of clothes will you be wearing? What type of situations will you be involved with? What type of environment, right? All that stuff. Visualize. Okay. And then also just practice gratitude in this moment. One of my mentors taught me, like, you're not going to be really happy or content with more until you can be happy and content with what you got right now. If you think that all that stuff is really going to bring you like pure satisfaction, all this material stuff, it's not really going to. What's really going to give you true satisfaction is getting a connection with God and having a set of daily disciplines and habits that I talk about in my coaching program. I teach you on my coaching program that hold you accountable to you. Okay. Because without the work on yourself, you can have all this stuff, but you're going to feel like shit. If you're not working on yourself, cultivating a real positive relationship with yourself, God, spiritually, your soul, you'll be aching. You'll be unfulfilled, truly. And all that stuff will just be filling the void. Okay. So just get really clear on gratitude and be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for the breath that you have in your lungs. Be grateful for the ears that you have to hear this video, the eyes to see. Like, be grateful for the most simple, basic things that you take for granted. The bed that you got to wake up in, the blankets, the food in your fridge, the water coming out the shower head. Like, be grateful, fam. Okay, be grateful. And do your best to stay away from negative thoughts. Like the beginning of the video, I was telling you, bro, if you're just focusing on negative, you're going to be negative. If you only be negative, you're going to see negative. And if you see negative, it's just a nasty, vicious, negative cycle. You don't want to be a part of that. So do your best to stay at a positive mind, and don't dip into negativity. If you dip from super positive, just people go to neutrality. People often confuse like realistic with negativity. Like, just be real with yourself, but don't be negative. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, yeah, you might be broke, you might be out of shape, you might not be in a relationship, but you don't have to be negative about it. Just be realistic about it, right? And just be grateful that you have enough mental faculty to be aware of that and that you have the ability to change that. One of my mentors told me, one of the best parts about being rich is remember when you were poor. One of the best parts about being poor is getting rich. But the best part about it all is sharing how it all works and helping other people do the same, okay? Other than that, fam, I just want to summarize, it's all about your mindset. It's all about your mindset. So even if you manifest all the great stuff you want, you're going to lose it all if your self-image and your mind isn't congruent in alignment with that, right? One of my mentors told me, like, if you get $1 million, you better become a millionaire, right? Because it's a perfect example is like when people get the lottery, people win the lottery. Bro, those people aren't conditioned to have a millionaire mindset. They're not conditioned to be operating as if they have millionaire habits, disciplines, etc. They don't know what's going on. Truly, they just come across this lump sum of money, and before you know it, it's all gone because they're not internally a millionaire. They just have $1 million. Right? So just be mindful and realize that it's going to be a process of doing the inner work. Okay. It's going to be a process of not so much, what to do, but who you need to be. And also not what you need to do, but what you need to not do. Right. There's certain things that you just need to stop doing. The vices, the overconsumption, the indulgent, the being lazy, not holding your word to yourself, all those things. Okay. So just by combining all this practical advice, there's tons of explanations out there. There's tons of research. There's tons of success stories, bro. You can do it, fam. You can do it, sis. You can do it. But it starts with you. Stop focusing so much on the outer world. Focus on your inner world. Everything else will come to manifestation. As long as you switch your mind, change your mind, you change your life. Okay. Hope this video helped you. If it did, drop your notes in the comment and like, comment, subscribe. As always, elevate and thrive. Peace.